Hello, Atlanta Film and TV. This is Mandisa Johnson, entertainment journalist for Atlanta Film and TV. Today, we are having a conversation with Director for the City of Atlanta's Mayor Office of Film and Entertainment, Cardellia Hunter, where she leads the permitting process for film productions and the local community. She is certified by the Association of Film Commissioners and is an active member of Women in Film and Television Atlanta and Black Women's Film Network. How are you doing today, Cardelia?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me, Mediza.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So, I'm going to jump into the first question. So, you have a
Okay.
background in music and the entertainment industry. Can you take us on your journey of how you got your start to where you are now?
Well, I am a graduate of Grambling State University, where I received my degree in marketing in many moons years ago. And I went back home where I'm originally from, Los Angeles, California, for about a year. And then I came to Atlanta. And I didn't have a desire or anything to be in the entertainment. It was definitely by fate. And so I started my first start in the entertainment industry was working at Hitco Music Publishing, which was the publishing company for LA Reid. And I just started off there with just assisting who the hierarchy folks were, which was the director of the office and the director of creative. And so just coming into Atlanta, being here for like 2 years, and then getting the opportunity to work for Hitco Music Publishing, which was in the beginning stages of being branched, I should say. I oversaw the copyright publishing for the writers and producers. And I did that for a few years, maybe about 4 or 5 years that I worked in the worked for Hitco Music Publishing, and it was a very great experience. It was a good eye to be introduced into the entertainment world, and so that's how I got my start. The person who hired me is a friend of mine, and she hired me to
Wow.
you know, be assisting her in, in her everyday. And then I started learning all the ins and out when it came to publishing and what a publishing deal looked like, and, seeing how royalties are recouped and so on and so forth. And so that was early on back in 97 that I got my start in the music industry. And then after leaving the publishing, I still was in the music industry, but this time I was on the management side, and I managed for Enlight Entertainment, and I managed Anthony Dent, who did Survivor for Destiny Child, and a friend of mine, Kelly Price, and then I did Shakespeare, who has a long discography for music as well. And so that was my introductory into the music industry.
Wow, that's an amazing story because some of the people that I've talked to, they've always had like a want to go into entertainment. So including myself, didn't know how I was going to get there, but here I am now.
Yes.
Um, Growing up, did your family recognize your gift of the arts early on? And if so, how did they nourish it to facilitate your growth? I know you just said that you started in marketing, but did you have any like did you like any of like anything of the arts when you were growing up? I loved theater and I loved mimicking what my drama teacher in the kindergarten was teaching me. So I would go home and I would unknowingly perform a monologue for my mom. So do you have any experiences like that?
You know, I love music. I'm a music head of all genres. And I think really my first taste, really being introduced in any part of entertainment, was me taking some courses in high school. And I took a drama course. And I thought I was pretty good, but I guess I wasn't where I needed to be, but I shared a drama class with who everybody knows as Niecy Nash right now. And so if I had to compare myself to the way she was back then in high school, I sucked at it. But I just, I'm creative by nature. It wasn't, it doesn't have, I wasn't actually, music or drama or art or some sort, but I always had this creative mind. I always thought of, I just always had fake characters in my head, where they were my friends and I did whatever with them. But I never really saw myself being in front of the stage or behind the stage. It was just, I think my gift comes more in um, maybe administrative skills or people skills of that sort. So I didn't have this like I want to grow up and be a singer or I want to grow up and act or anything like that. Because when I grew up in Los Angeles, and so those things, even though I lived in what everybody would call the hub of entertainment, especially when it came to movies and films, that just wasn't what we were really exposed to know that we could even dream to be it. So I can't really say that I wanted to be in this arena, in front of the camera or even behind the camera. So yeah.
Wow. That's so funny when you said that you had like people in your head, like ideas of people in your head, because I think as a kid, I kind of like had the same thing where I thought about it the other day. I used to think that I was on camera, like as a
Mhm.
4-year old. I thought that people were actually watching me. Like my imagination was so crazy. But yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
They would be my characters, and I was singing. I was a young girl, but for whatever reason, I love me some Diana Ross. She was who I looked at, and so that's who I would mimic and sing. But that probably went as far as my dreaming of being like her,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So
Which is
what, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, which is interesting. I
Yeah.
still love it to this day. I feel like I'm the boss.
Well, you are. You are. So, for someone who may not know, can you talk to us about what your job consists of as the director of operations and productions under the city of Atlanta?
I guess so. First of all, I oversee all things permitting when it comes to a production wanting to film in the city of Atlanta. So whether I am on a scout with the production, whether I'm on a production meeting, whether I'm talking to my stakeholders, inside stakeholders, whether it's fire or APD or council or parks and recs, my job is to make sure that these productions can film in the city of Atlanta without any incident. And I don't only represent, or excuse me, I do not only represent the productions with given the permits, but I definitely represent the community where these productions would like to film in. So any and everybody who wants to film in the city of Atlanta, anything pertaining to impeding the right of way, then you have to come to our office to obtain your permit. And that's on the production side. On the operation side, it's more of just the day-to-day administrative work inside of the office. But the production side keeps me very busy. There is never one production that is the same. And it comes with many challenges, but they've all been great challenges because, the more and the more scenarios get thrown at you, it's better for you when you're trying to hone your skills to be able to, allow the productions to get out there and do what they do. So, um, in a nutshell, that's what I do. I oversee the permitting process for the city of Atlanta for productions to film.
Thank you for sharing that because I really didn't know either. So thank you.
Yes,
I'm sure
yes,
that'll help some of our viewers as well.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, what types of places do filmmakers need permits for?
Well, if you're filming in the city of Atlanta, you need a permit if you are impeding the right of way. So that means if you need a lane, street, or sidewalk closure in the city of Atlanta, if you want to film at any of our city of Atlanta government buildings, if you want to film at any of our city of Atlanta parks, then you'll have to come through our office to be able to obtain a permit. We do not permit for private property. Only time you're going to get a permit from us when you're filming on private property is if you need that lane, street, or sidewalk closure. So whenever you're impeding the right of way, you have to come see us.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So,
Yes.
say I'm a filmmaker with a decent sized budget. How will I go about getting a permit to block off a street or, a building? Um,
Well, first you would, give a call to our office and, let us know what it is that you're doing and how feasible is it to get done. And when you are ready to close down, we'll just say you need a full street closure. It's a few components you have to do. When you submit your application, first and foremost, we need that certificate of insurance listing the city of Atlanta as a lien holder, just in case anything goes crazy on the street. We're
right.
able to fixed and recoup our money. You have to notify the community that you will be in their area filming, regardless if you're in residential or business. We have a 3 block radius that you have to notify. Then you have to go to a traffic engineer to actually get your plans drawn up. And that's what you submit to us in order for us to be able to get, your streets approved. And whenever you're blocking the right of way, then we require that you have a police coordinator with you so that everything can go smoothly, and the police officers are there to implement the closures and the safety for whoever wants to come through or needs to come through, and it's the safety not only for the production but the community. Then we have this whole process where once you submit your application to us, that we have to send it out to our stakeholders. And our stakeholders, like I mentioned earlier, consist of our APD, fire, our council, our NPUs, which is our neighborhood planning units. We have film liaisons. And if you have small businesses in that area, then everyone has to be notified about filming coming to their community. And once your process is in and we go through the whole, getting it approved, stamp of approval, then we issue that invoice so that you can pay for your permit. And then once you pay for your permit, then pay for your invoice, then we issue your permit. So it's a few steps that you would have to do. And, a lot of times production comes to us first to talk about their locations, to see what they can and can't do. And we're there to advise them, to make sure that, they thought of everything when it comes to wanting to close a street. And then, in whatever way that we can help them to be able to maneuver around, that's what we do.
Okay. So, about how long is that process?
Well, if you're most productions know way in advance that this is a location they want, these are the dates that they want, and they'll come to us sooner than later. Now, for us, it takes at least 5 business days, 5 full
Okay.
business days for us to do a full street closure. And then if you need a lane or a street, I'm sorry, a lane or a sidewalk closure, we need at least 3 full business days. Now, when you're getting into the more complex of the closures, like if you want to shut down Peachtree Street, then that takes a little bit more planning. And a lot of our productions know that. And so they will come to us sometimes months out so that we will be able to, strategically put that together, make sure we notify, make sure those detour routes are sufficient so that when a car is coming up on a closure, that they are detoured in a safe manner and still be able to get to their location. So it just kind of depends on, what that production is looking for. And, I always tell them, get it in sooner than later. especially
Right.
now. We have so much filming going on right now, and they're trying to stack up on top of each other. But we do have to be mindful for our communities, because once the productions are gone, our communities are still here.
Right. Yeah, that's true. We actually on the way, I'm not at home. We live in Decatur.
Okay.
So we were passing by, I think it was before you got to Decatur High. I don't know. It was like a whole bunch of trucks on the
Yes.
side of the road, and Decatur is already kind of congested, but we could see inside the trucks. They were filming somewhere. So you're absolutely right. Things are, picking back up since COVID started, but you're right. So
Yes.
my next question is, can you share with us what the day in the life is like for you?
Oh, so there is never the same day. My day usually starts very early in the morning, maybe at around, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I check my emails. I respond to what is important right then and there. And then I would look into our film app and see what type of applications have come in. What is it that we need to do to process it? I have a team of two, so it's three of us all together. Um, so I'm just making sure that everybody's on the same page for the day, and I can have production meetings scheduled throughout the day. I can have meetings for some educational programs that we're working on right now. I'm always returning calls from constituents who have concerns about filming. I can, you know, I can start in the office and end up on the streets if need be, because I will go out on a scout, or if we have a major street closure, I have to go out just to make sure everything is intact. So one day is never not the same, and they always seem to be challenging. But I'm up for a challenge. I've been in this office for 8 years since its interception, so I pretty much know where everything is buried and how to get to whatever it is that I need to get to. But yeah, it's usually just, checking emails, returning phone calls, speaking with my productions, pulling me out on scouts with them. I'll go out and do scouts and walk the streets, and they like to ask me what they can and can't do. And then, at the end of the day, I'm returning calls again, or I'm jumping on Zoom calls. So it's a very busy day for me. And no day is really quiet. No day is really quiet. As long as there's productions filming on the street, there's no quiet days. Sometimes before post COVID, I would, I love to go speak to the students. So I would go to a college day. Clark, Atlanta has seemed to become one of my homes where I go and speak to, their students. Um, and then, before COVID, if there were events related to film and TV, then I definitely would try to attend and, keep the networking going. And sometimes it's just good to kind of pull away from the productions and change the narrative to, talk amongst my peers.
Yeah, I can see no 2 days being the same because I
Correct.
mean, entertainment industry is just, it's ever changing. Um,
Absolutely.
you know, yeah, I can just see that. So, Atlanta's already a booming market for film and TV. Is there still room for growth, or have we reached capacity?
There's always room for growth. Um, and I say that is because, we have, of course, the productions are coming here. We have a great incentive, which brings a lot of productions here. We do have studios, studios here, studio lots here. Um, we need growth to bring writers' rooms here, you know.
I agree.
So
I'm a
there is
screenwriter, so
definitely there is definitely room for us to grow and to make it a complete circle. We have the productions, we have some of our major studios here, but we need for our we need for things to be greenlit here, right?
Right.
And so if that means bringing a writer's room here or having, infrastructure set up here instead of having to go back to Los Angeles or, New York to get the post productions and stuff. So it's room to grow. We're still putting the puzzles to the piece. We're still trying to put the pieces to the puzzle to make it complete. So I don't think we'll ever not be able to grow here as long as our incentive stays good, as long as productions are wanting to come here. One of the reasons why they do come here is because our incentive is great.
Mm-hmm.
We're the world's busiest airport. We have
Mm-hmm.
great weather. Living here is a plus as far as cost of living. This is one of the places where you're below the line can live just as good as you're above the line. So
Mm-hmm.
as we continue to um, invite productions here, and as we continue to hone on our skills when it comes to our incentive, then we definitely have room to grow. We haven't even really touched the surface yet.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly, especially with that writer's room. I have an MFA in creative writing, and screenwriting was one of the big things. So a lot of people who were in the program that lived in Atlanta, first thing was, where are the writers' room? Well, there aren't many here. A lot of projects, like you said, are written like in
Yes.
LA, and then they bring the projects here. So I totally agree
Mm.
with the whole writers' rooms, and I would love to see more of them come here. And
Yeah.
people from Georgia be on the writers' teams for major productions.
Absolutely, because with all the productions that we have here, it's a lot of work here. And so there's no reason why the Atlantans can't get a piece of that pie by setting shop, up here, instead of just coming here to borrow us for a while and then go back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, I agree. So,
Mhm.
Atlanta Film and TV is hosting its first in-person networking event in a few weeks. Can you share with us the importance of networking and building relationships in the film and television industry?
Wow. Well, listen, relationships is probably what has kept me where I am thus far of longevity of being in this film office. Anyone can come in and do the permitting process. It is the relationships that you build that keep you relevant to be able to do whatever it is that you are trying to do. I am very big on building relationships. I think it is the number one component to being able to grow in this industry. And the only way you grow is when you surround yourself with like minded people to be able to get that energy feedback off of others so that you can continue to move forward in whatever project that you may have set before you. Before COVID, any industry event that I could go to, I was there. And not only was I there, I always made it a point to myself that I'm going to collect at least 5 business cards. That means I need to talk to 5 people that I did not know prior to coming into the event. And it has definitely paid off because you never know when you're going to need someone or and even if you come to me and you built this relationship with me, I might not can't get you the answer, but because I've kept my networking open, I can help you get to where you're trying to get to. I can help you get to that answer. And you don't know that the person next to you is just as creative as you or might have a piece to your puzzle of what you're trying to do. Because when you try to do it all on your own, you can't do it all on your own. And so that's when the networking comes in. And it is so relevant that you get out and you network and you meet people. And when you go to another event, the 5 that you met, you go back and tell them, hey, did you know it's another event going on? And that just kind of keeps your circle growing. and you just never know. I might end up working with you, might be directing and writing a script or something together. But and especially coming back out of COVID, and we've been locked in to launch an event right now. I think everyone should be there because we've probably been so closed in and just been
Mhm.
so disconnected that we have to come back and get our creative juices back flowing. So networking is it for any industry, but networking is definitely it when it comes to film and TV.
Wow. You dropped some gems. And it's crazy that you said Creative Juices because that's the name of our event. It's the Creative Juices
Wow.
Networking event.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's
yeah,
something then. Yes, you're on the right path.
thank you. So, what is a piece of advice you would have for someone wanting to pursue a career in film and television?
Um, I think the advice that I would give is to know that it isn't an overnight success industry. You have to continue to work at your skills. Whatever you have in your head, write it down. And then find the different avenues that would help you um, be able to launch whatever it is inside of you that would make you a contributing factor to this great industry. Um, so it's uh, reading articles, staying knowledgeable of what's going on. It's networking. It's even if you think you're not good at it, or even if you think it doesn't interest you, but if it's open for you to attend or go to, then do it. Because the only way you're going to be able to sustain a longevity um, career in this industry is to be passionate and be patient. Be
That is some
passionate
great advice.
and be patient. And learn all that you can. Learn all that you can. When COVID came in, it gave me some time to. I was taking classes, how to storytell right, how to brand, any and everything. I was just soaking it in because I didn't have that time otherwise before COVID. So um,
Mhm.
in the back of my head, I have a desire to write a book, you know, but it wasn't until I started just trying to see, oh, what they're doing over here or what they're doing over there. Or I'm gonna go listen in on this. And regardless if that was my main focus interest, I always learned something by sitting in on different seminars, dialing in on different Zoom meetings. It's you have to soak yourself in this entertainment world if this is where you want to be.
I agree. That is some great advice. So how can people connect with you?
I'm easy. All platforms. I'm Cardelia Hunter. All
Okay.
platforms. I am Cardelia Hunter. That was one thing I learned about branding and making it consistent across the board. So if you try to find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram, and I also have a Facebook page, and all of it is Cardelia Hunter. That's the easiest way that you can, connect with me. Or you can go to my website at cardeliahunter.com. That was something
All
else
the
that I did. Yeah, all the same. That was something else I did during COVID. If you want to stay relevant, you have to have a web page. You have to start branding your own self and what makes you unique in this industry. So anybody can find me, Cardelia Hunter.
Well, I would like to thank you for having a conversation with me today. Um, thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you having me. This was wonderful. I've always liked to share what I do, and I always like to share how it can help others, or just, drop some jewels, as I would say, on my Film Fact Friday on, how to stay relevant and connect in this industry. So thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.